Good morning and welcome back to the KR Daily Transmission. My name is Kaia Ra and I'm the author of the Sophia Code. If you are new to my channel and just joining us live, welcome back. I just wanted to share how inspired I am by everyone's comments in Friday's video. Hello, welcome. Feel free to introduce yourself in the chat, get to know our beautiful community of light workers. And yeah, I just, I just wanted to say, like, wow, to witness the actions that many of you took for self-care, taking a stand for self-care, um, taking divinely guided action, following your heart, listening to your intuition for how to take care of yourself this weekend, and then coming back and sharing in the video replay comment feed, what your personal process was, how those teachings landed for you, how you bravely spoke to your husbands and wives and children and neighbors and people that could support you in creating greater space for you. And I just want to say I was deeply moved. I read everybody's comments, whether I commented back on them or not. I was just so incredibly moved and thankful for what you wrote in, what you shared. And Corey's saying, I see a rosary. Yes, this is the Mother Mary rosary that I designed. There's a few different versions, a few different colors. This is one of my favorites. It's got the turquoise blue with this gorgeous red crystal beads. And then, of course, the Mother Mary medallion that I designed, and the Ankh of Life on the bottom with the golden dragon scales. All of these rosaries are literally handmade. Like every single link that you see here is handmade. All of the pendants involved in the medallion, the pendant and the medallion on the rosary are all hand carved and hand finished. And so this is why, honestly, this is why the rosaries are priced the way that they are, because so much time, hours, energy, and really valuable, of course, precious metals, all of it goes into making a once in a lifetime experience for a rosary. So this particular one was really inspired by my inner child. These two colors, she just loves these two colors together, turquoise and red. And yeah, it just makes me really happy. I get to share a little bit about that with you. Thank you so much for celebrating with me in the chat. So today I'm happy to take a question or two coming in to the live chat. I was really praying about what to share about today, and I definitely received a message to just open the book and share from the first thing that I read. And so I am going to do that. And if you also have a question about anything at all, the psychic development topics that we were just covering a couple of weeks ago, maybe your experience in Sedona, maybe you're a new SCL leader, you're joining us live. So I'm here for it. I'm here for all of it. And let's just see what happens. I definitely got that there was that I need to be drawing from the back of the book, and that there was a topic connected to what we talked to on Friday. So let's see. Wow. So I pulled let's see, I pulled from page 322 in the Sophia Code, which is the Sophia Dragons chapter. And the Sophia Dragons is, these are the holy seraphim of the Divine Mother. So when we're talking about seraphim dragon teachings, we're talking about teachings that are asking us to sit in the cauldron of transformation, and also asking us to fully own and embody our sovereign divinity, the fire, the light, the sacred waters, the consciousness. Those are all elemental expressions of the consciousness of God within you that is doing its best to integrate with your human awareness. So this passage that I opened to is actually from the Sophia Dragon's Key Code 777 Initiation. And I'm reading from paragraph 322, the first full paragraph so it's like paragraph 2, but it just begins. So it's like, depending on what you define as the beginning of a paragraph. So it starts with, to pass. Oh my gosh, I just saw a question come in. So Jen's asking, when you made the transition from working as an employee to working for yourself, what was that like for you, and how did you navigate the fears of not being able to provide for yourself? That's a great question, because there's a lot of illusions that light workers have about working for yourself that I would be happy to dispel for you and for all of us here, because it ain't no dreamboat, I'll tell you that. And there's just as many sacrifices that you make working for yourself, maybe probably more than when you're working for someone else. So it's a great question. I'm happy to answer it. Let's finish this reading from the Sophia Code, and then we'll go there. So to pass this initiation, I must hold the course of my meditation and resource self-confidence from the universe of truth within me. The Sophia Dragon hurtles as a comet towards me, her embodiment of sovereignty awakening my awareness to the gravity of my own, and the stillness of clarity that arises before an impact. The unlimited divine nature of my humanity dawns upon me. I summon all hidden fears about embodying my sovereignty that are arising as the Sophia Dragon plummets towards my crown. I call on my higher self to now burn away these fears with the speed of the seraph's flight. I choose to no longer deny the power of my sovereignty and open my arms wide to receive the Sophia Dragon as a shooting star of welcome blessings. The impact of the Sophia Dragon's weight falls as soft as angel wings upon my skin. A waterfall of starlight descends through my crown while also pouring down my head, rolling past my ears and neck, flowing over my shoulders and heart, pooling in my lap, and rushing in waves across my folded legs and curled dragon tail. Constellations of star nurseries float by in silent acknowledgement as saluting forests of my inner sky. The seraph of sovereignty dissolves into every cell of my body, expanding the universe of truth wider within me, beyond my understanding. What I love about choosing this reading for today, the Sophia Dragons guiding me to open to their initiation, it's the reminder that we as light workers have our ideas about what expansion is. And then these seraphim, the dragons especially, know what we're really praying for in expansion. And our expansion is to believe in the unlimited truth of our sovereign divinity and to be guided from that consciousness within. But that consciousness of your sovereign divinity is going to guide you to build, to create, to light on fire. It's like to both destroy what no longer serves your life and to also create what your life is asking for you to step into. And expansion usually involves both of those things happening simultaneously. I talk a lot about this in the Stargate 1 and Stargate 2 curriculum. And so from the perspective of the seraphim, from the perspective of the Ascended Masters, our divinity has all the answers. It is a all-knowing divine consciousness is guiding us through the very messy, hot human, messy steps of being human and finding our way like a scavenger hunt through the game of life. And so it's always so refreshing to go back and revisit in the Sophia Code how these Ascended Masters and how the seraphim view you. And this is why reading the Sophia Code again and again is so helpful, because we need a daily reminder, a daily dose that resets our framework as to who we really are. Does that change how intense this world is? No. What it does is it changes our perception of what we're capable of rising up to in this world and in this lifetime. And so when we focus on the purity, the unlimited power, the infinite intelligence, the creative genius of our divinity within us, it helps us to embolden our heart and encourages our next steps. It gets us clearer and clearer from the shenanigans of our ego structure. It helps us get clearer and clearer from the shenanigans of codependency that would keep us from our sovereignty. And so I think what happens is people tend to confuse that if they just focus on their divinity, they will not ever experience the hot mess of their humanity. But you're becoming conscious of both simultaneously. And as you become increasingly conscious of both your divinity and your humanity simultaneously, those two different, very, very different realities, being human in a slavery-based matrix, a hierarchical matrix. Honestly, most of our reality is a false reality that's based upon a very real planet. Most of the biofeedback that we're getting from this matrix that we live within is actually false information. And can you imagine how confusing that is to the multidimensional environment of your human experience? So not only is your human body in a false matrix, it's also being continually disrupted by propaganda, lies, and programming. So then you're already confusing the human experience even more. And then you add onto that the human experience is extremely complex. You have your emotional body with a full spectrum of emotions. You have your mental body with such a wide range of capacity to think or be confused by your ego structure. You have this, not to mention, you have a body with its own consciousness that's doing its best to interface with your soul and your ego structure. Like the levels of consciousness that go into being human are astounding. It's actually astounding to me that anyone's functioning at all in any way that's really making an impact. And so I think people, it would be really helpful for us as a community dedicated to sovereignty to also be just as dedicated to self-compassion, that the more you focus on your divinity, the more you're going to realize how complex and wounded and even confusing the human journey is. And so there's a lifetime journey of integrating your divine consciousness with your human consciousness. And that takes a lot of evening out, a lot of balancing out. At first, it's going to feel like a dragon ride of constant inner explosions, and you're going to come up against all of it, very raw, vulnerable edges, trauma you didn't even know was there. And even as that stabilizes, the ego structure wants you to think like there's some kind of destination. And there isn't. There's simply the journey of continuing to allow this divine consciousness, again, which is unlimited, holy, all-seeing, connected to the source of all that is, to gently persuade a very stubborn, heroic, hot mess human experience to get on board with just a little bit more of that divine light, day by day by day. And so, this goes the same with being a business owner. I'm 7 years into being a business owner, and I still pull my hair out almost every day. And I am not going to go into all of that, but what I will say is that I became a better person for being a business owner. I became more of who I wanted to be. And I talk a lot about this in the Stargate 2 curriculum. You should always incrementally step towards being a business owner in increments that make sense for you. Some people are high risk people and they don't mind taking the risks of loans, having investors and business partners involved. And it's just like, they like to play the game of the stakes of life like higher than others. There's other people that if like you are really into the security of a full-time job, like that's probably not going to be how you should approach becoming a business owner. You should probably do something that's traditionally called moonlighting, which is like very slowly building up a second business that's like that has a, you know, your attention part-time or even like a quarter of your time until you start to see, oh, I am willing to expand in this. I am willing to take on more responsibilities with being a business owner, which then will invite greater amounts of clients and resources to come in to support you. But let's be very clear. If you're talking about a business being a light worker, offering your services as a ministry, like that's not, you know, owning a laundromat where people put quarters in a machine, which by the way is complicated enough as it is, because what happens when the machines break down? What happens if the electrical unit goes out? What happens, you know, when somebody decides they're going to lose their marbles in your store? It's just like being a business owner already comes with so much complication. And then you add in your business being based around your light work. Oh, like that's a whole other bag of cats. And so, you know, the way I did it was I did it gradually. I built up to see that there was enough of a need for me to start to continue to let go and then become full time. And even then, I had to find a business model that made sense, dollars and cents, where, you know, it more than took care of my monthly needs, my yearly needs to be able to make the full shift. And so, you know, the exciting thing about online virtual businesses is there's a whole lot less financial risk. There's still a lot of investment in ways like of course, creating your website and things like that. But I'm not going to go into all of that. What I will say is, if you absolutely have a prayer to do this full time, it's really important that self-care will become like the everything, because the level of pressure that you're under as a light worker, and as a business owner, and you know your light working is your main form of income. It's you gotta love it. You gotta want to do it more than anything else in the world. It's got to feel like a mission to you, because there's so much stress and pressure involved with it. There are plenty of days where you wonder why you would do that. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's just how it is. And it's really important to understand that like it's a different kind of industry. Like hiring the right people, hiring the right support systems to help you with light work is different than any other business. And you can only go as far in your business as the people that are working with you to create enough momentum for you to go as far as you want to go in your business. So like, just take all of that in. Like you begin with yourself, but if you do gain enough momentum, it's going to start to involve other people. And it's really important to understand the hiring process so that you're not holding yourself back. They're ready to actually help you move forward in bigger ways. But that's really based on like, how much fear are they living in? How much are they hiding out in their, you know, in their expansion? It's there's so much that goes into this, and it's why I created Sophia Circle Leadership, because it's such a business in a box, honestly. Like everything's there for you to get your feet wet with having a very powerful spiritual offering that's extremely consistent. You're connected to a community of light workers and leaders that are there to support you with, you know, dialogue and Q&A and like connection. And of course, our incredible events that our leaders get to know each other and become lifelong friends at. It's just like, there's the Sophia Code in many ways markets itself because it's so popular worldwide. And so it's this interesting, we had so many people ask me that question. I was so grateful to be able to provide this certification program, which by the way is still open until our next class with Hathor this week. So if you are on the fence and like, I'm ready to begin the journey of being, you know, making a right livelihood for my light work, like please consider joining us with this year's cohort of students, because we have an incredible group this year. I just went into the Facebook forum for the first time today, and I was blown away by the men and women that have joined this year's program. And I'm so excited to be here with them. I'm so thrilled to be able to offer them a business model that really starts the conversation about how to be in right livelihood with your light work, and also with your clients and with your community and with your own heart, because there's just it's just such an extensive training program. Thanks for such a great question. It's honestly at the moment a bit of a sore subject for me to talk about. So I hope I did it service without being discouraging in any way. I just feel as though there's a lot of fantasy in the new age world that I don't want to perpetuate in any way. I want to present to you the beauty, the unlimited power, the omniscient creative genius of the divinity that is within you, as the Sophia Code has. But as revealed in my curriculums, it's important to understand that this is a heroic human journey to embody all of that. And that's what all those curriculums are for, to help you navigate what it means to take very courageous, vulnerable steps forward, both in your personal embodiment and then also in your spiritual leadership. So just letting you know, Chelsea, that that's a question to really present to us for the team. And thanks so much for your question. I'm sure that Corey and Ashley can help you with that. And let's see, I just want to say thank you so much for everyone joining us live. And it's just so great to be here with you live today. I love you so, so much. And we'll be with you here again on Wednesday, and tomorrow we'll have a premiere. I love you all so much. Thank you and namaste. Thanks for also liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Blessings.